Welcome, family. The journey continues. Really good to see you here. It's not lost on me that it is not easy to watch 2 videos a week. This time that we spend together is so important, and it makes the classes the rich space of sharing that they are. So thank you again for letting me come into wherever you are. I always imagine that I'm diving through the camera and I'm sitting next to you. So thanks again for being here. How are you? How's all this feeling? We are way into the course now. We're into the deep work. We have done so much. I want to know how your acts of kindness are going. I want to know if you're using the formula for change, if you're noticing things in your life, if you're making a choice, and if you're taking action on that choice. We've gone so many places. We used the life maps to look at our entire journey. And then we went even deeper with those early childhood years, and we saw those beliefs that were formed, those beliefs that basically created the blueprint for how we perceive of ourselves, what's possible for us, our relationships, how we're going to interact with the world. And we're starting to have a whole new relationship with anger. We're recognizing that anger is not just the unhealthy expression of anger. That's a tool from childhood, but that anger actually expresses a need. We're noticing the burdens that we still carry. We're going to be talking about some of those burdens today in the form of resentment, and we're going to go way deep into resentment. This is Forgiveness Week. This is the week to take all the work that we've been doing to offload old beliefs, to offload old lies, to offload old ways of being, old habits, and really go to the next level on the things that have been holding us back, that take our energy. So my hope is that all of us are present to our ability to change. We often go through life being told the way we are, and we believe that. We say, this is just the way I am. These are my limitations. This is what I have in life. And my hope is that each one of us is starting to see that there is no limit to what is possible for us. There is no limit to what we can unlearn and how we can connect to that purpose, that hunger inside of us, and follow that. That we can live our passion. And all we're really doing in this course is removing the things that aren't us. Removing the things that got put on top of us. Removing the lies and the beliefs that were never true, but that we believed because we had to. We've used the metaphor of the toolbox in the home classes, and I want to just clarify that there is no such thing as a bad part or a bad tool. It's just that those tools that are in our toolbox, like distrusting our own wisdom and inner guidance, having critical thoughts of ourselves, having unhealthy expressions of anger, living through and by our past traumas, letting our past resentments take our energy, involving ourselves in self-blame. We take those things out of the toolbox because they may have worked for us or been the best solution for us as a child. But as an adult, they begin to become a liability. They begin to be something that holds us back. So let's dive into resentments. What we know is that we've all experienced pain, and we've all caused pain. We resent ourselves often for both the pain that we've experienced from other people, because we think somehow we could have made another choice, and we resent ourselves and blame ourselves for the pain we've caused other people. This doesn't do anyone any good. It doesn't keep us any safer. It was a response we had as a child to feeling helpless. So let's talk a little bit more about resentment. One of my favorite quotes is, resentment is the poison we drink, hoping the other person will die. Holding resentment is toxic and limiting to our body, to our relationships, to our potential, to our joy, our happiness, our freedom. The releasing of resentment is an act of self-love. It's for our freedom. It has nothing to do with someone else. We often think that if we're letting go of resentment towards someone that's hurt us, that it's a gift to them. All of the work we're going to do this week is about our freedom. It's about how it feels to be in our body. It's about being able to reach and live our potential. So we know the idea of letting go of resentment brings up a lot. So let's start with what letting go of resentment is not. Letting go of resentment is not making what happened okay. Letting go of resentment is not letting the other party off the hook. Letting go of resentment is not an effort to ignore or diminish the pain that we experienced. Letting go of resentment is not giving the people who hurt us access to our vulnerability. So when we're little, and for most of us, even as adults, when we get hurt, it feels threatening. It feels overwhelming, often unbearable. Our defense is to resent, to say, I can't ever let this happen again. What happened was not right or fair. What we're trying to do is actually form a healthy boundary around the way that we want to be treated. And that's a healthy thing, right? That makes sense. Resentment actually has the opposite effect. Resentment binds us to the person that we're resenting, the situation, the group, whatever it is. How does this work? If I resent my partner for cheating on me, or my friend for lying to me, or my family member for betraying my trust, I'm focusing all my energy on how they hurt me, and not on building healthy boundaries and making choices that give me what I really want. The result is that I'm tied to people that hurt me and others like them, and the pattern keeps repeating itself. As the pattern keeps repeating itself, my beliefs that people can't be trusted, that being vulnerable always ends badly, that no one will ever really love me, that I'll always be alone, that I have to do everything myself, etc., gets cemented. Because each time the pattern repeats itself, it's proof that that early decision to resent and to decide how it will be for me, that's just reinforced. So the pattern keeps repeating itself, and all of us, we're kind of mystified as to why we keep getting hurt in the same ways over and over again, despite our best efforts to avoid getting hurt. The truth is that all of us are built to grow and heal. We were never taught to develop healthy boundaries. We were never taught that we could say no to things that weren't good for us. We were never taught that we could look inside and make choices that got us what we want and need. Resentment is the tool of a disempowered child. You are doing something to me I don't have the power to change or defend against, and I hate you for it, right? Kids say, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Resentment is from helplessness. It's a tool from feeling like you have no power. We bring the tool of resentment into our adult life because no one taught us an alternative. We just do what we did as kids. So in essence, we're all walking around feeling like disempowered children, resenting all of these bad things that keep happening to us and the people that are perpetrating them, the people that are doing them to us. So this practice of walking around as a disempowered child and resenting all the people and the situations and the groups that are hurting us, it sucks our energy. It blocks our connection to ourselves. And it blocks our connection to other people. It limits our creativity. It limits our joy. It limits our freedom. It keeps us chained to feeling like a victim of all of these circumstances and feeling like there's nothing we can do to make choices to have it be different. This is why resentment's so important to look at and to really examine if we're ready to forgive, if we're ready to let go of our resentments. So what's the alternative to resentment? Let's start with acknowledging the pain of what happened. Like, what we resent, it happened, and it was devastating to us. It was so painful to us. And letting ourselves off the hook, acknowledging that we did the best we could at the time to cope with the circumstances. We really did the best we could. It takes letting go of the resentment we have with other people and ourselves. We often tell ourselves that we could have done something different. We should have known. We should have seen it. We could have prevented it. So letting go of that resentment towards ourselves and letting go of our perpetrators, not giving them access to us, not making them right, not letting them off the hook, but forgiving them, letting them out of our body, letting them out of our space, owning our own power. And then really acknowledging what we need and want in the future. When we let go of resentment, we can say, that is not what I want. I want this. And then we can make adult choices to be treated the way we deserve, the way we need to be treated. So it takes all of those steps to shift this cycle of walking around feeling like things are just happening to me. Patterns are just repeating, and my only defense is to resent. My only defense is to say, I'm always going to be alone. I'm always going to be hurt. I'm never going to be met. I'm never going to be seen. I'm never going to be supported. And just being in this cycle of resentment. So this is true for all of us. It's something that humans do. And we have this rare opportunity today to make a different choice. And it takes courage. It takes courage to do the inquiry that we're doing right now. So thank you for having the courage to look at your resentments and to look at another way of being, to step out of your comfort zone and really see, what are these resentments costing me? So we're going to take some time, as we often do, and we're going to go inside. And as we do, I just want us to all be present to, we have been on both sides of resentment. All of us have, right? We have been the victims of pain perpetrated by other people and groups and situations. And each of us has caused pain by our action and sometimes by our inaction. So as we go through the meditation today and as we do the writing today, I'd like us to stay present to, each of us is on somebody's resentment list. Each of us has caused pain in much the same way that we've experienced pain from a relationship, from a situation, from a group, from wherever it came from. We've been on both sides. A big part of letting go of resentments is letting go of all the resentments and blame we've held towards ourselves. So we want to go into this conversation, eyes wide open, really acknowledging that we too have been the perpetrators of pain. We too have caused people to be resentful, to obsess and think about us. So with that, let's close our eyes. Let's feel our feet on the floor. I'm going to cast my eyes down. I'm going to deepen my breath. Just coming right back into your chest. As you breathe into your belly, I'm putting my hand on my belly. I'm putting the other hand on my heart. And I'm just noticing how this whole conversation of resentment lands. And what comes up for us as we talk about resentment? Are we blank? Do we think about one or two resentments that are always in our mind? Do we get an uneasy feeling? Like we've been keeping that resentment at bay. We've been keeping the pain that resentment caused at bay, and we don't want to invite it in. Noticing what's in your heart. Again, breathing into your belly, breathing into your pelvis, breathing into your legs, feeling your feet on the floor. And then coming back again and really seeing what are the feelings in your heart. We've done a lot of work together, but each of us is still carrying burdens. What are the burdens in your heart? What are the burdens on your shoulder? What are the feelings that are still waiting to be expressed? Is there grief? Is there worry? Is there more anger in there? And as you check in with your heart, allowing yourself to bring to mind some of the most painful experiences in your life. You could be thinking about your past or current relationships. It could be thinking about your current circumstances or conditions. It could be around who you're living with in the past, who you're living with now. What are the situations that have caused you the most pain in your life journey? It could be from early childhood, from when you were a teenager, to when you were a young adult to right now. But what are those experiences that have caused you the most pain? Noticing how you feel about those situations. Is there anger there? Is there resentment towards those people, those circumstances? And if you notice resentment, how does that resentment feel in your body? Just letting whatever images come up around those painful times, those painful experiences, those times when you felt betrayed, those times when you felt lied to, stolen from, left out, pushed away. And as you notice what resentment feels like in your body, notice how long you've been holding it. How long has this resentment been there? And notice how long you've been holding similar resentments. Maybe you've had a whole string of relationships, friendships, lovers, work relationships, and they've all had an element of betrayal. Maybe you felt like there was a whole string of relationships where you gave everything and the other person didn't reciprocate. Maybe there's been a string of relationships or situations where you felt rejected, unwanted, unlovable. Noticing the resentments you're holding and the similar resentments that you've held for a long time. And as you get present to these individual resentments and these groups of resentments, these themes in your resentments, how does living with these resentments affect your trust in yourself? Do you trust yourself to make healthy decisions? Do you trust yourself to say no when things aren't right for you? Do you trust yourself to find the best situations for you, whether it's in work, whether it's your living situation, whether it's emotional support, whether it's your community? How does living with these resentments affect your trust with yourself? And then how does it affect your trust with other people? looking deeper, how does it affect your confidence to make the right decisions, to know what you want, to know what's right for you? How does it affect your confidence to lead, to step in front of a room, to own your space, to know who you are, to be visible? And as you see and feel how it is to live with resentment, take some inventory and allow yourself to really make a mental list of all the things you resent. Maybe you resent that you don't have enough money, enough food, the right situation, the right relationship, that people around you aren't treating you the way that you want to be treated, that things are hard in this way or that way, that you give more and others give less, that it's all up to you, that you feel alone. It's making a mental list of all the things you resent. And often these resentments are so old and so part of the way that we move in the world that we don't even see them at first, but really let yourself see what is the nature of all the things you resent. This is like an open door. It's a resentment party. And as we embrace all the resentments towards other people, towards situations, towards conditions that we're living with, let's look at the other side. When and where have you caused someone pain? When have you acted impulsively or lashed out in anger? When did you not consider the effect of your actions on someone else? When have you betrayed someone's trust? When have you misused your power in a situation? The power of knowledge, your emotional power, your financial power, your status. When have you misused your power in a situation? And when have you used your words to hurt or demean someone? When have you attacked someone verbally or physically? When have you disregarded or dismissed someone? When have you lied or broken someone's trust? Really thinking about whose resentment list you're on. You made a mental list of your resentments. Whose list are you on? And we're taking all this in with the spirit of curiosity, right? We're letting go of self-judgment because you can't look this deeply and bring self-judgment. There's no growth in that, right? It just gets us stuck. We're just seeing what we see about the effects of resentment towards others, towards ourselves. And we're really owning that we've been on both sides of causing pain, right? We've been the perpetrators and we've been the receivers. We've been on both sides. So taking all of that in, and again, just placing your hand on your heart. I'm putting both hands on my heart and thanking yourself for seeing whatever you saw today. So many people spend so much of their energy on resentments, all their resentments, all the things that they wish were different, all their self-blame. But they're never willing to actually turn and take a look and say, this is all I'm holding, and this is what it's costing me. That's the work you're beginning to do today. So when you're ready, feeling your feet on the floor, and gently coming back, opening your eyes. And as we often do, we're going to do a little writing. So if you don't have your pen and paper nearby, go ahead and get them. If you want to open an application, we're going to give you some questions. You'll have a timer, you'll have a slide to help. But pause the video now if you need to get your writing implement, and then we'll start again. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, pretty simple. I'm going to give you 5 minutes just to list your resentments, who you resist and why. And many of us, I could say all of us, but I'll just say many of us have resentment toward God and have some hesitancy to writing that down. I know I did. And what I want to say is that God can hold our resentment. God won't take it personally. So if you've been angry and resentful for God letting things happen, include that in your resentment list. You've got 5 minutes, and I encourage you, if you've got more resentments, to pause the video and continue to list who you resent and why. And the who could be circumstances, they could be groups, they could be a person, they could be a situation. Who you resent and why, write it down now. So now we're going to be honest. We're going to look at that list of resentments, who we resist and why. And I'd like you to write about what feels good about holding these resentments. What feels good about holding these resentments? I know for me, I like to be right. Even if it's killing me, I like to be right. I like to think that I'm on the right side of things. But what's true for you? What's good about holding these resentments? Write it down now. And now take a few minutes and write about what's bad or limiting about holding these resentments. Take the time you need. Please write until the timer finishes. And if you want to continue, pause the video and just start again when you're ready. Now, just for exploration purposes, I'd like you to write about how your life would look and feel different if you let go of some of these resentments. How would your life look and feel different if you let go of some of these resentments? Write until the timer runs out and continue if you like. Just pause the video and start again when you're ready. So now let's do the other side of that inventory. I'd like you to write about who you have hurt. Whose resentment list are you on or might you be on? Do that now. And if you need more time, pause the video and continue. Envisioning the people that you've hurt, that you've caused pain to. What might get in the way of offering them an apology or making amends? Write it down now. And imagining that you made these apologies, these amends were appropriate, how would your life look and feel different? Would there be more freedom? Would there be more room? How would it be for you to make these apologies and amends? How would it feel for you? How would your life change? Write it down now. We will dive more into resentments in our meeting on Monday. Can't wait to see you there. Thank you for doing this work today. Be sure and watch part 2 of this video where we dive into forgiveness, and you'll have time to do a very sacred process around forgiveness in your home group this week. See you soon.